All right. Hello, hello, hello. Gotta make sure. Hey, welcome back. This is Robert again. I've got kind of an exciting episode for you today. Anybody that's able to come along and watch, thank you for being here. Um, got a special presentation. This is my nephew John, and he's a computer builder as well, computer enthusiast, and a major gamer, way better than I am. Fortnite's his expertise. If you ever have any questions about Fortnite, hit John up. Um, he's been having trouble with his computer and cooling. He's upgraded his video card, puts a little more stress on the CPU. That causes some overheating issues. So he did the right thing out. Right? He did the right thing out. He did
the right thing right out of the box.
Right out of the box. Right, literally out of the box. He went and got a bunch of new fans to control the cooling system and to maximize on the airflow to protect his CPU and his new graphics card. He stepped up into the world of RTX graphics, which are amazing video resolutions and I guess frame. What's your frame?
So the beautiful thing is,
oh, hi, ladies and gentlemen, this is John. John, hi everybody.
So the actual GPU, I've got the 4060 Ti, is actually, it stays pretty cool. It does a really good job. Self-contained unit, fans inside of it. It does really well. The CPU itself though was running about 210 degrees Fahrenheit, about 110 Celsius. So obviously a little hot. But I was pushing about 140, 150 frames per second playing Fortnite.
Cool. And we did notice when we were looking at his unit to start this upgrade that the little bit of dust, and we've been talking about that, how important it is to maintain your computer as best you can. It may be necessary every once in a while to take your computer open and get the air dust or the vacuum and pull out as much as debris and dust. It's a perfectly natural habitat. Aspect of the habitat. No house or home or office is exempt from getting debris and things that flow through your case, and it has to have that airflow, so it's going to bring in that debris. The best thing you can do for that is upgrade your system if you need be, and then try to do, I would say, every 3 months maybe, do maintenance on it. A good little tip on the vacuum cleaner is an awesome thing to have. I have one here somewhere.
Well, I think I did it. I kept most of it clean, but the CPU fan,
right,
I did not.
It's kind of hard to get to that, and you really almost have to completely disassemble it, and it's somewhat time consuming. But like today, John has got the, show me the box there.
Yeah, this here.
He elected to go with the Hyper 212 Hard Black. Got a pretty good deal at 30 bucks.
30 bucks from Best Buy.
Okay, from Best Buy, and that comes with a very nice cooler. It's self-contained. It's got oil inside, and the fans that the air flows through. I need coffee.
Apparently something. Yeah.
Hey, if anybody's out there, go ahead and send me over some coffee. We're in Oklahoma. No, just kidding. It'll be fine. But self-contained cooler system with its own oil that flows through there as the temperature changes, and then the fan mounts up to it in either orientation, depending on where you want to put that. Go straight to the CPU, and that will put a lot of cooling power right there at the CPU. And then also, show me another box. We've got, looks like, 2 of the 140 millimeter RGB. Go pick. 2 of the 140 millimeter. These are awesome. I would really like to get some of these myself. You always have need for more. These are Corsair. I'm a huge fan of Corsair products, but this also RGB has colors, and so that's going to be really neat. And then finally, to make sure that we're pulling enough air into the front of this case to get the airflow that the CPU and the GPU needs to maintain its cool, a 3-pack of the RGB 120 millimeter Corsair RGB fans. So that's no way in any way, shape, or form is that overkill. You never can have too many fans. My philosophy is if you have a lot of fans, you can lower the speed of the fans, your system gets quieter, but you have more airflow. If you're using one fan to do all the work, you might have to ramp it up depending on your settings to maintain the temperatures that you need to keep in the safe zone. I'm not going to talk a lot more about the safe zone and temperatures and whatnot. Most of the computers and motherboards and the systems monitor that, and there's alert systems in the BIOS that'll let you know. John monitors his temperatures all the time, and only just recently with this new graphics card is showing some indicators that the temperature's going up. So we're just going to nip it in the bud and put some new hardware in there. And real quick, before we get started, we're going to bang that out right here on video, show you what we're doing there. Got a shout out to a couple new subscribers, Matthias Wayland. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you being here. Look forward to seeing your comments and your feedback on the videos, and hope to bring you some content that you enjoy. Jermaine Johnson, I believe that's how you'd say that. Jermaine Johnson, thanks for being a subscriber. And Tiberius, thank you for subscribing, and hope you enjoy the content.
Enjoy
John,
the content.
what would you like to add? Anything you want to tell us about you and your computer enthusiast?
So the specs on these ran about 60 cubic feet of air per minute.
Wow,
this ran about 89 cubic feet of air per minute.
That's a lot of air.
A lot of air. A lot of airflow. So since I'm bringing these in there,
now, not to interrupt, but in perspective, what about if you compared those to a scuba mask? No, I'm kidding. This guy. So no, that's cool. 89 cubic foot. That's quite a bit of air.
So basically, I was looking at my system and kind of comparing and trying to do the math, and essentially, I'm going to triple the airflow that I had previously. So.
Awesome. And what's your CPU? Do you remember what?
That's a Ryzen 5.
I think we put a 5700X in it. I think.
Yeah.
That sounds right. And then RTX
4060 Ti.
4060 Ti. Those are expensive but awesome graphics cards. Nowhere near our cheap PC parts build. We're just not going to make it to that for a while.
But we're only in this build with this about $2,000 with my build.
Cool. Let me turn on. I have got one thing here. I want to be able to see the chat. Scenes. Docs. You see the chat? YouTube live chat control panel. There we go.
There you go.
Now, if we get, all right, one viewer so far. Awesome. And there we go. Excellent. Okay.
So, but yeah, basically, the system that if I were building the perfect system, the best system I could buy, if we were to build it together, probably put that system together for about $5,000, $6,000, right?
Yeah.
So to be at about $2,000, and I'm at about 80% of that performance,
sure.
75% of that performance.
And the cool thing is, really with your case that we saw in the picture before, you have plenty of upgrade expansion possibilities with that case.
The motherboard's the next thing that's going to upgrade anyway. So
then again, you were just mentioning how much you like this Fantex case that I got.
Yes, and your case.
And
yes.
I've got a Liam Lee that I use for my streaming computer, and it's a lot of fun. The only thing with the Liam Lee is I'm not 100% sure about the airflow because there's so much glass. That's got a front glass panel. It's got a side glass panel. And even on my NZXT case that I use for my daily, it's got a lot of glass on it too, but sometimes I hear that the fans ramp up really high because it's on a controlled setting to adjust per the temperature. But from my understanding in the videos I've seen online about the Fantech case, it has about the best, if not the best, airflow for a PC system. And if you're going to invest that kind of money in a unit, you want the best of everything.
The best. And the other thing I saw in as I was reading and doing my reviews that I may invest in is a little laptop lift to raise the CPU up to create airflow underneath to make sure that you got plenty.
Absolutely. So, and you definitely wouldn't want to put your PC on a cloth or material other than a very firm surface. This is kind of a leather desktop here, but then my computer is actually sitting on a perfectly flat, solid surface, and there's airflow underneath. Or exhaust. In a lot of cases, when your power supply unit is on the bottom, you want it to exhaust out because you definitely don't want your power supply unit to put more warm air from itself up towards the GPU and the CPU, pardon me. All right, so what else? Anything else?
That's it.
Anything you want to tell the audience and let them know?
No, I don't know.
Cool.
No.
I think so. So let's, we're going to switch the camera. We're going to move the computer around. We're going to bust it out really quick. I'm not going to go through and describe every single little thing, but you've seen me do this in the build before. We have great brand new products. And the best thing about this, guys, is he's had this computer for going on 1.5 2 years now. He invested in the basic computer and was happy with it. And at his convenience and his time, he was able to upgrade individual pieces of it. He got some more RAM. He got a better graphics card. And he's slowly building it up over time. It's like budgeting for what you really want. And then at some point, you'll get to that $2,000 and $5,000 system and with the components you got. And if you have a fail of one part at a time, it's just like a car. You don't replace the whole thing. You fix that one part and you keep going. So there's opportunities there, and that's what we're trying to share with a PC build that's cheaper as the one that I built. That one, you just in the last video saw where I put a brand new motherboard in. It went from an AM2 system to AM4. That's leaps and bounds and generations of power and computing, and it's a force to be reckoned with. And the only thing left on that is graphics card. So that may be in the future if a graphics card becomes available at some point. We're still trying to focus on making that a cheap build, but to the bare minimum to get it where we need to be. All right, so we're going to move some stuff around. John, go ahead and bring your computer over, and I'm going to put us on our tabletop. All right. Let's see. Spin that around because we got camera there.
Which way you want it?
No, actually, no, that's fine. That's fine because we got access to this.
Yeah.
So
this is the one we're going to keep.
We're going to keep one of these.
That
okay,
one,
cool.
And then these two are gone.
All right. Well, let's take them all out first because the arrangement anyway is going to be necessary to.
Sure.
All right. So
you can give me a handheld, Phillips. I don't need a.
Okay. Well, let's do that because then we won't be blowing up on the. This is a special set of screwdrivers I got. Here's the computer parts repair kit too. Also has the exact square heads for those nuts as well. So, all right, we'll just keep the new stuff out. So Lazy Fish Keeper, I haven't seen him yet, but I'm hoping that he'll get to see this later. I think he keeps a night schedule very much like I do. This is an exception for today because I'm off and I'm excited to be here, but it was an opportunity for me and John to get together and have some good fun time working together on a computer.
Yeah, I'm sitting around thinking about this. I'm like, man, I really need to fix this. And something I could have done at the house, but I figured, hey, Bobby's got this channel and he's doing it, and content creators are always looking for content.
Sure.
So I thought, why not do this with you guys? I didn't necessarily want to be on the video, but
I thought you said a player's got to play.
A player's got to
play. Just kidding.
But I thought, you content creators are always looking for content. This is a nice little easy project. It's something that doesn't take a whole lot of time or effort, but would be
Sure.
great to show beginners that you can do anything with the computer yourself. You can change out your parts. You can work on it. Now, obviously, this is what we're talking about with needing to be cleaned.
Yep.
And I thought I did a good job of blowing this out, but apparently I was not.
It looks great from this side, but the other side where it's hard to get to. And there again, guys, it's 4 screws. And in your monthly or bi-monthly or tri-monthly cleaning process, it's good habit to just remove everything. And they recommend 90% or better isopropyl alcohol that can evaporate quickly. And you can use that as a cleaning agent, and that will not hurt your computer. As long as it's not plugged in, it does have an amount of water in it, and water is conductive. So you don't want to use any conductive water material on an active live system. And you still have your CMOS battery in there as well. So you don't want to drown it, but for more help on how to clean your system and what to use on that, be sure to consort to online on YouTube. I'm sure there's 100 videos out there that have references to that. They come all the way out. They don't come all the way out, but they come all the way loose. And don't pull it off. Let me show you, babe, before you pull.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let you.
So I'm going to go and pull these out.
But they do come all the way up?
They'll spin until they don't spin. Well, they'll keep spinning.
Okay.
They don't come out. So.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's probably about it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Let me see this. Is this? Did you put?
It was already on. I didn't do that.
That's it feels like a bumper from a fan. So I thought it might be in your way.
Wouldn't bother me, but okay.
Okay, guys, let's talk about when you remove your CPU fan from your CPU. Now, if you remember on an AMD system like this, it is anchored in by a tension bar that grabs all the male positive pins on the CPU and holds it down to the board. The last thing you want to do is grab that fan and start yanking up on it right away. One very good piece of advice.
Wait, you mixed these up. Which one was the bottom?
That one was because I pulled this one off last and it was on top.
Okay.
So this one.
Yep, that's fine. I'll keep him. Thank you.
We'll put that together.
Thank you. Sorry.
We can use the bench here too.
I am.
Let's get your chair out of the way. Okay, as I was saying though, one good thing that I saw that was a great tip is some builders will power their system up for a very short time, about 30 seconds or so. And that heats up the CPU and kind of puts a little less tension on that paste. But for this example, I'm going to just very gently move this back in a corner. Now this one's already broke loose because he hasn't had it applied for that long. We've done some maintenance, and so it's not particularly tight. But we're going to, once I know that it spins left and right like this, but then it can slowly lift up. And then another thing to keep in mind is the computer paste here is very moist. It's not dried out. It's flaked a little bit, but that's just because there's some on the CPU and some on the cooler. But it's not dry. It's not chalky. It's got moisture to it, and that helps it to conduct heat. So let's see, John. There's a looking for.
Not the best word, or you have to wait for the words to formulate. And
Yeah, then my mouth works faster than my brain. So take as much of that material off the CPU as you can with a piece of towel.
Okay. Look at that! I can see the name rising again.
Yep. It's arisen.
Risen.
The name is arisen.
Arisen. All right, fine, whatever. It says. Can I clean the rest of this too?
Sure. Yeah. The best thing with that is a lot of times you can get the vacuum cleaner. Try not to blow forcefully into it.
Okay.
I didn't prepare the vacuum cleaner, but we'll do that when we get it all applied. Okay. We'll come back with the vacuum cleaner.
Sure, yeah, because there's dirt on here too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's okay. And the cool thing about the AMD system builds like this is in about 30 minutes we could completely just take this whole thing apart, and we could put it back together, cleaning everything. We're going to put this together today for the sake of the video, and then we will come back and do some more additional cleaning and maintenance for the rest of the build. I have these whites that I really like, and I don't. It's got, these are antibacterial. I'm not trying to sell off on these, but I use these quite a bit. They're active disinfectant wipes, and I found that these evaporate very quickly. I still don't use these on electrical components because I'm not sure of the water content on them, and they are very moist. But in places like the grill where the fans are, I just use them to kind of collect a bit of dust, and with that moisture it coagulates the dust and keeps us from having to fight with it. And then even if I do get a little moisture on plastic pieces or parts of the computer, it evaporates very quickly. So let me just make sure.
Do this other side.
There we go. I'm just going to touch up one here.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get your big fans on the top first. Kind of lay those up in there and just get a proportion and see which way you want the angle of the.
Okay. Now we're going like this because we want the exhaust to be up.
Yeah. And also, let's double check this. There is, in many cases, an arrow, and see that little arrow, how it points right there? Most fans have that little arrow. That means the exhaust is that way. So, and just as I mentioned before, this holds true, this is the top of the fan itself that sits down on the motor. There's a gap between the fan and the motor casing, and I'm most certain that the exhaust is always on the back side where the motor is, so that this fan cover that's a complete cover piece protects the internals of the motor system from getting residue and whatnot. So that would be, and these are going to light up real pretty and nice when we're done anyway, so it's not going to be a matter of aesthetically how they look, and you won't be able to see them from the top.
So put it like that so that that'll give you the most amount of cord space.
Right. Now, preemptively here, we can think about this. These Corsairs have a fan hub controller. And this fan hub controller will tie into the motherboard via USB, and it will control the lights, and you can use software for Corsair. I think is it Corsair IQ? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
IQ software, and this will tell all of them. So before you put a screw, just put one screw very lightly in. Okay.
Yeah.
While you're thinking about where your cordage is going, you also need to think about where this little controller is going. So a lot of times this controller will sit down here on the bottom. It can, in this case, it's got more room up here on the side. And as long as your fans have the stretch of the cords to get to this unit, you're in good shape. And a lot of times these fans have one hub controller cord, and they also have one you can plug directly into a board, which is like this is the motherboard connector, and this is the controller hub board. You only need one of these because the controller hub being used will control the fan by itself without the other one. So John, one recommendation I could make on that one is if you'll turn it 180, put the cordage down here, it's next to the case, and at the very worst case scenario, we could
we can thread that close to the sidewall towards the
Well,
hub.
then should that be down as well? I mean,
If we have clearance, you could wrap it underneath, and that way we could travel them closest to the case. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
okay.
And then these little things come to you as you go, and there's no wrong or right way to do it. But try to think forward about cable management. I like for my computer to be as aesthetically pleasing as it can be. So cable management for me is important. So, and John's going to put these in. He's going to put a couple screws in, and then very loosely, maybe 1 or 2 in each fan, and then we're going to adjust them to the perfect center as we can, as will allow. This grill on top of this case is also set up for a radiator and a cooling system for multiple fans, and so very often that grill will be bigger than the space that you have available for your fans. As long as you line them up in the correct pilot holes, they will assist you. So,
okay, there we are. But it's going to be, these are pretty close to right where I want them to be.
cool. There's no wrong where for them to be.
No.
The ideal part of a top cooling fan is that they're above the PC or CPU so that they can withdraw that air from that unit.
So I've got just 2 in each one, just enough to kind of keep them in
Okay.
the same spot. They're pretty close to where
Now,
they're going to be.
since we're at this point, let's consider our CPU fan and cooler. So get your radiator and just set it on the CPU because it's clean right now. Guys, this has a peel, and on the peel it has the perfect amount of cooling paste underneath there. I take that back. This is a peel for no thermal paste, but this unit actually does come with the thermal paste, and we'll apply that when we're ready. But the thing we want to make sure now is that we have enough clearance for our fan to clear the RAM, and we got to decide which side we want the fan on.
Which, this is all going to be lit. This is going to be lit.
Yeah, and so we also
This is the only side that won't.
we're going to be pulling in from the front.
Okay.
So we want to go toward. We want to exhaust out the back. Is that the plan?
Yes.
Do you have a fan for the back? One of those for the back?
That's the one I saved.
Okay.
Right here, the old one from the other one. That's the one I'm going to use for the back.
Okay, perfect. So
we can bring it in.
if we can clear it on this side,
That's where it should go.
it's probably because we're bringing in cool air and we're forcing cold air right here in the front of the radiator. If we exhaust it, you got 2 fans right here together. It still works. But this, we're just sizing it up for the
Like
comparison.
this, probably for the
Yep.
for the cordage, because that puts it at the lowest side. So yeah, that's probably where I'd stick that
Okay.
right there.
So we're going to pull that out. Let's look at our hardware and put that together. And every time there's new products, we hopefully won't have to reserve to the instructions, but we have them available if we need them. But I'm pretty sure these have. So
No.
there is a.
It would go around. It would go around those right there.
Oh yeah, so that hooks in, and then the lip goes over the fan. Yeah, it's either one way. Now I have an Octura. My metal clips go straight into the fins. Yep, you're right.
Well, wait, no, wait. In the picture, it shows them hooked in here.
Okay, but that's not an. Is that enough?
Oh,
We
I
can
guess so.
consort to the picture. There's no wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right, so they hook inside the holes, like you said,
Uh-huh.
and then they lip into the, and go all the way in with the. You can just do one at a time for a second. Let me have this for a second.
Yeah, I'm good. Do it well. Oh, it's
All
good.
the
There
way
we go.
in.
Okay.
All right, and then
There's 4 clips.
is there 4 clips? No, I think it's just 2.
No, there's 4 right here in front of me.
There are 4 clips, but I
Yes.
think you only need them because there's nothing clipped on the top.
So
The only thing we need to make sure is that we're going to have how that clips into the thing here. I didn't see any paperwork with this, did you?
no. But if I'm doing them the exact same way, and there we go.
Okay. So let's see if this is universal either way. So it's here, and we want to put there.
Yeah, I don't see any way for that to connect. I don't know what that is.
All right. Look here. So they intentionally want you to put a little tension on it. So let's get this perfectly centered. And then watch here. See how this is, it's ever so slightly flexible. It just kind of snugs up and drops right inside there.
Okay. Sure.
They thought of that, and then there's that.
Okay.
And that's as simple as it is. That is mounted.
Nice.
All right, so now the only thing we have to consider now is our CPU fan power supply is up here on the top. It's here. So if we put this here, do we want, I guess we could run the cords directly under.
Well, are we going to connect this into the same?
Oh, the hub? Yeah, because we could probably go south
That's
of the
what I was
RAM
thinking.
here.
And then if we're going to connect into the hub, then we can bring it.
Look at that. That's where relatively it's going to be.
Yeah.
Now we're just going to make sure the mounting process is going to line up.
Well, that's what this guy's for. And these guys that are here, because it goes into.
Yep. It ties into its own rails. So I believe, and this is so it's the longer one's going to be these longer ones here. I'm just putting them in for the moment, and then I'll visualize. All right, so we're hung up on the tensioner right there. We definitely don't. That's not how that should be. But
Should it not go this way? No. Okay.
I wasn't expecting to. You know, like that.
More and more glad that.
LGA 1700. That's so. These are adapter kits for Intel and AMD.
AMD.
So, but we got to make sure to clear. We don't want to. And one thing I do know is the plate has fallen down and we're not making contact with. So I think that could rest on top of that. But it shouldn't. I just don't feel comfortable with that resting on top of that. So, just like we had with the other computer, we have lost our backing plate. So, John, if you'll help me real quick and pull this off.
Okay.
They could go opposing like that. It may be. In fact, those. I don't see that that's a groove could go on top, but there's got to be a screw that goes through and adds into it. Yeah. So that fits very nice.
Yeah. And so it goes here like this, so it has a little bit of lift. Oh no, it has to.
Yeah, it's got to go. Yeah, it's got to.
I mean, but I was gonna say so it could go on this side.
In fact,
that fits perfect. Look at that. It's even got a little groove in there.
I think we can screw that down on there first, but so your plate's going to fall out.
Oh yeah, sure did.
And that is an AMD backing plate. Oops, that's a controller. So I'm just gonna, and we may have to, since we've got that open, a little trick for this. I got that just a second. Let's do. All right, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of paper towel to put some tension on that plate. Just gonna lay it down right there on top. Now we have our screws protruding, so now we can judge. Did we think? No, those are smaller. That's for Intel.
Yeah, they're underneath.
Bigger. Let's kind of size this up. Technically, these should.
Well, they got a little thing.
Yeah, they're going to rise high.
They go on top of it. See? They go on top of this piece.
Okay.
And they sit inside there like that. So this.
So see, those are pretty high because that gives that placement on the thing. So
yeah. I don't know how you screw it in though.
Well, there's going to be a screw. There's probably these two right here that are threaded for that.
No, I meant like how do you screw these in?
No, without, worst case scenario, we can sort to the manual. I bet. See, that feels better to me. Let me see that.
It'll do that too. So But I do think they go on top.
Okay. This one doesn't though. Does that make enough room for that to be in between those? Because if not, they go the opposing.
Well, these go on top, so because this is going to go right down on top of the.
Well, but that's too thick, though. That's what I'm saying. So if they are on top, but you're right. You're right. So if all else fails, read the instructions. But let's see if we can screw that in to that. We look. Where's the picture again? Let's double
What I
check.
was going to do is just size it in.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, see, that's perfect.
Cool.
So
We just got to make sure that the pad contacts with the CPU. That's the important part.
Yeah, which is why that goes on top of it.
Okay. Like I said, no wrong way. Here's a.
Except, like I said, oh, because you put the fan on afterwards. The intention is you put this on,
You're right,
then
you're
you
right.
put the fan on afterwards.
Well,
So-
come to me. Hold the grill,
Got it.
the radiator. I'm just going to gently pull those out. They're spring loaded, and that's it. So now we can work with that.
Yeah, now we'll be able to get this
Mounted
like
to
it's
that.
supposed to be.
Cool.
And then we'll be able to screw everything in, and then it'll be fine. And then these little guys go in here, probably from the underside, because that looks like a little.
Yeah, I
loop
would
that
agree.
catches
So you could just flip it upside down and screw it in. There's no wrong way.
There's no wrong
Fake it till you
way.
make it.
That's right.
Is that that's a protruded hole way for the screw as well?
Yes,
Let's make sure I got. There can't be the wrong screws because those are the only ones that apply.
they're perfect on the size.
Magic.
You can do magic.
Copyright. Sorry.
We were allowed 3 seconds of any song.
That's true.
So
Whoop! There it. That's as hard. Guys, we're of the generation, and we're going to try it before we read the instructions. But I highly encourage
read the
read
instructions.
the instructions. We're still troubleshooting, so there's no right or wrong.
I
about
mean,
this.
it's going to sit in there perfectly.
Does it touch? Can you tell that it is touching the CPU?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's any other way. It's on the bottom. The CPU is the last thing there, so you can't help but it would have to. It's the highest part, so yeah.
And it's spring loaded, so it's going to press down on it as we screw it down,
Yeah.
just like the regular. Yeah, I know.
That's
I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
All right, grab your
Pretty
CPU
perfect.
thermal paste. Go ahead.
Oh, you're gonna let me do this?
Yeah. So it's. Yeah, some people say you should put a lot. Some people should say a little. I like to put about a pinky size.
Which is why I was gonna have you do it. How much do I want to put?
I can't see you. I would say cover the Y and the Z. A little bit more. A little bit more. Okay, that's good. Stop.
That's all that it has.
Okay, that's probably the perfect application then. All right, so now
Oh shit! Some fell on the.
it's all right.
I know.
Thermal paste is non-conductive, so if it does happen to be, if it gets in on something else, it's not going to be the end of the world. So I have some Q-tip applicators that I don't seem to have with me at the second.
Okay.
All right, so now, in perfect world, I just use this little piece of wire. I'm just going to spread that out as evenly as I can. Once you apply the cooling system, the fans to it, it's going to put pressure on it, and it will put the perfect amount of spreadage. But you just want to evenly conform it best you can, kind of like syrup on a pancake. Happy little CPU.
Happy little CPU.
I'm just kind of steamrolling over here a little bit.
I asked him if he scripted before we did any of this. And no, he said it would take away the magic.
Oh, is there supposed to be magic involved? Can somebody get Harry on the phone? I have questions.
Mr. Potter.
So that's about 100% coverage. And it's about as spread out as I can get it.
I think it looks amazing.
Okay. Now, keep in mind, guys, there's nothing holding that back plate on. So worst case scenario, we're going to have to reach under and hold pressure on that.
When we go to lift it up and screw it in?
When we go to lift it up, screw it in. So do you want to do the fan and I can hold the plate, or do you want to do the plate and I can hold the fan?
I don't care which we do.
Okay. Let's let you do the fan or the cooling, and I can hold the plate.
Oh.
So
You want me to do
grab your
this?
screwdriver.
Would you like me to do a peel?
Go
No,
to
you
my
do this. this.
all right.
You do this.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I do want you to do the peel because I think a PC owner always should do his own peel.
Are we ready? Let's get closer. To the
Do we
camera?
need a drum roll?
Yeah.
Can we get sound effects? Oh, that's not cool. That, guys, this is my budget for sound effects. We just got a drum roll. Thanks to John. And that's awesome.
So it's aluminum all the way throughout, then copper on the finish. But from what I read on it, it's really, really good for conducing. So it'll take that heat from that and then basically divert it into this. So when the fan's cooling this, it's actually cooling dispersed heat, not direct heat. So it's pretty cool.
Yep, perfect. All right, so let's see. Grab your screwdriver. Make sure I get lined up here. And on this. All right. It may bite. So just give it half a turn. Stop. Go to opposing side, adjacent. Because we want to try to apply equal pressure as we're screwing in. Yep.
Yeah.
Once you feel it bite, and there it goes. And then this one and that one. I think we've already grabbed the plate, so the paper towel trick worked.
Seems to work just fine.
I have, let me get back.
I don't know if that one's biting at all. Except it did work.
I have had that.
Yeah, it worked.
Okay, cool. So now go across until they won't go any further. So, and do a couple of screws and then go to the other side. Don't go all the way down yet. Yep. We're still hoping to get an equal amount of pressure as that plate goes down on top of the CPU for even, smooth contact. And it'll take whatever thermal paste is and spread it out evenly as it should be. I think we should have titled this video, "Welcome to John and Robert's Figure It Out As You Go" tutorial. Honestly, I didn't see any instructions in the box. I think
I didn't either.
Expect us to know how to do this, but
I think so too.
I think we're onto a thing here.
I would let us build other computers.
Sure.
All right, there we go. Everything's tight and secured.
Yeah, excellent. All right, now we can reapply our fanage. And did we say we want the cord to go to the bottom?
Okay, because we're going to go in, put them all into the same
Here
couple. Which actually, I don't need both of these hubs, do I?
No, if you got two, you just need one because you've only you can do 6 fans on a hub.
Yeah, and I'm only going to do 6 fans.
That's it, right there,
just like that. Boom.
So let's throw on the back fan. Let's work on the front fans.
I'll throw on the back fan. I want to do the one. This is going to. Oh, here's your front fans.
Okay. So all 3 on the front. Yep. So you got 2 big ones and 1 small.
No, they're all the same size.
Oh, okay. I see they're in the box. Okay, cool.
They're just in a little box. Let's see. I'm going to clean this off.
So that was for the back. Is that what you moved that one to the back? Okay, cool. Now I understand. I didn't quite understand that when we first talked about it. But
no worries. Do you have a spray can for air? Or
if you hold off, I do.
Or I can go wash it.
Well, don't do water.
Why not? It's not plugged in.
There's an air compressor in the tool room in the garage if you want to fire it up and just turn your mic off.
Fair enough.
Okay, I'll go ahead and work on these while you're doing that. You could
just give me one of those wipes.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. And just do one blade at a time to the best you can.
Yeah.
There's no wrong way.
No. No, happy little fan here.
Happy little fan.
It likes spinning around for me.
This is going to look awesome with all the red, blue, and green colors, and with the RGB fans themselves. It's going to be a spectacle.
With the keyboard, the mouse, the memory, everything that I've got, it's a little light show over there. On my little computer setup.
You should build it. You should set this specifications up on the PC part picker as a reference to other people.
There we go. I like that.
Even some of my viewers, if they like, they can go and check out your build specs. And it's like, what were those fans again that he used?
I've uploaded all of my tests on CPU Z
Oh yeah.
on Nova Bench and on Furmark.
Nice.
So yeah, so my build is saved on a few of those sites for those who do comparisons. Even though, like I said, this is a really good, if you want to be good enough to do any game that's out there and compete without blowing the budget, this is what this build is.
And there's nothing but up to go if you needed to add something to it. And I think how many gigs of RAM do you use in this time?
For
Well, you had 4 sticks, but how much?
no, on what? For what? You're talking about how much is that?
How much RAM
48.
do you have? 48 gigs of RAM.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Probably more than you would ever need for almost anything, because there's a point to where you have a sufficient amount of RAM and it does the job.
Yeah, that's just for possible future expansions. Plus, I have some of it dedicated for CPU.
Cool.
I mean, GPU, whatever it was.
Right.
So my games load instantly. I don't remember. Of course, you put it all on a solid state drive, so that loads fast anyway. But
yeah, solid state's the way to go.
Happy little fan. She looks brand new. We did use almost the whole white, but look at that. We got her shining again.
Cool. We got more wipes.
So yeah, the long and short of it was, when you built the original build, something happened with the fans that you were supposed to have, and you didn't have, or something, and so you sent me with these to install them myself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of gave me the 3 fans that I had.
Cool.
And you were like, that'll be enough. And at the time it was, because
did we even forget to even get fans when we bought the parts for your thing, and we had what we had?
Yes. And so you just gave me what was kind of left over. Yep. And again, it worked when I had a smaller CPU and GPU and the likes, but now that I'm a lot faster and have upgraded, the fans needed to upgrade too.
And that's the goal for our viewers too, is that just you can start with nothing and slowly work your way up. You don't have to do it all at once.
I'm just trying to make sure this one, I think the
Airflow wise?
No, I'm thinking the plug that I used was up there, but I can use this.
I think there is a lower one, and usually typically that it shows up on your software is the one that knows that it's a rear case fan.
Mine's a 3 and that's a 4. Does it go on the inside? I think that's if I'm doing 3 and that's a 4.
Look for the prong. The prong will show that that's the only way it can go on.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And you'll know if you ever plug it in wrong, it won't work.
That's clever. Nice little way to check yourself, huh?
Hey, the lazy fish keeper has joined us. He just
Hello,
got
lazy
home.
fish keeper.
Welcome, and
I'm gonna let you plug that in.
Timmy, but can I call you by your name? I don't want to put that out there because I know that's your streamer name, but I know who you are. Welcome. It's good to see you here.
Intake exhaust, right?
Right. So exactly.
I'm gonna let you plug that in.
Okay. The forceps are over there as well.
That's what I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need some help.
They're behind you on the toolkit.
Okay. I guess with age, there's some things that I'm dealing with. I can't quite see as well as I used to.
I'm kind of struggling over here too because I'm in a shadow spot. The light coverage is a little bit weak, and I'm, for lack of better words, having a little trouble getting it lined up.
Maybe you should have done this one. I should have done that one. I just wanted to clean my own mess.
I appreciate that.
So the ideal, I'm sure we'll check this out later, is, again, basically I was running about 205 to 210 degrees Fahrenheit on my CPU.
Is that I'm sorry to interrupt. Is that a 120 fan?
Yeah.
And do you have two sets of screws? Or is it just one rail?
It's just one rail.
Okay, so that would be.
So it'll slide up or down.
Then it's not acceptable for 140. So
no.
I'm just saying that's where back here I'm dealing with two sets of screw holes.
Yes.
And I've got options in them.
Yeah, because that could be 120 or 140 on the front. The top could also, but it's really for 140. But the back here was only 120s only, which is why I did it the way I did it, because I like to shop. Best Buy was pretty decent.
Lazy Fish Keeper says, "My name is Wally Coyote." You can cut. Jennifer, I love you, dear. Thank you for joining us. Guys, that's a great lady, and she got an amazing stream. So I don't know if you can click on her name in chat. But check her out on Twitch. She does every kind of game you can imagine. So I don't know, John. I'm not trying to say anything against you, but I think Jennifer would give you a run for your money as far as competitive.
Oh yeah,
yeah. She's serious. And she's got a lot of followers. I've tried to hang with her sometimes, but I get distracted and have life things happen. And
hang at what? What are you talking about?
Just competitive games. I mean, if you guys are PvP. I know she would embarrass me, but I'm just saying that out loud because I know it's true. But no, she's a lot of fun to play with. We did some new Avalanche. What was that game that we played? What's the one where you land on the island and you're half naked?
Fortnite?
No.
I don't know. And then you're
Recently.
I don't know how we went from talking about the temperature that I was at and the temperature that I was expecting to get once we completed the fan process to this conversation. So I'm a lost. I apologize.
Flirting with my friend. She's just being fun. So
I apologize. I'm lost.
I can't. Why? I'm getting old when I can't remember a game I played last year for 100 hours. So these fans have a little slot on the side, and I believe you can thread your cordage through them. I could be wrong. Does that look right to you? Does that look like it's accepting the cordage?
Mm-hmm. It certainly does.
And I want to get flush with the other one, so.
Okay, that looks good.
The cordage falls apart.
It looks good. So we'll have essentially 3 fans on the front for intake. Again, 120 millimeter fans on the front that are bringing in about a little over 62 cubic feet per minute. And then the fans on top are 140s for exhaust, 89 cubic feet. So I'll be bringing in air, cooling off the CPU, and then using the top end here for exhaust, the back and the top for exhaust. And then I'm going to lift my computer because it's got an automatic exhaust down here. The other thing I like is
that exhaust is for the power supply is orientated to go out the bottom. Yep.
And I like that the GPU sits right above it, so it's blowing cold air down too. So the entire thing, if it's set up and got a little bit of rise under it, which I did not know about the cloth. I'm glad you told me because this was sitting on cloth.
Okay.
And that may be causing some of the issues. So, but if I raise this up, then I should have proper clearance. And with this, I'm expecting the temperatures to drop from that about 205 to hopefully no more than 150, 160 with the full load on it. So
now is that Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit.
I confuse that, and then
I
think 29
Celsius
to 60 is the one where they get
it's
really
95.
concerned because I like to watch the guy that's in Canada on the computer.
If you're talking about Celsius, so anything over 85 is probably too hot. You're probably clocking a little too hot. I'm running 110 Celsius. So,
okay, yeah.
So at Celsius, I'm still about 30 degrees over where it should be.
Cool. Which is going to be no problem at all now.
Now, the beautiful thing is while it was just idling or when I was surfing, this computer did fine. It was only when I was, like if I played WoW, World of Warcraft, it was really good until I'd get into raids or groups or anything where there was multiple people interacting, and then it would draw it and get pretty hot. Same thing with Fortnite, it would get pretty hot. And since I game a lot, I didn't want to keep running temperatures of 110 Celsius all the time.
All right. Excellent point. So what I have done here is kind of went against my whole common sense, and I'm trying to thread these cords to the side of this fan to go straight towards the hub that'll be in this general area. And now I'm going to back up a step or two. I'm going to remove these fans and put those cords straight down to the case, and I have unlimited room to work with them. And they can go behind the fans or you'll never see them. But because I'm trying to put one more fan in between here, they're coming out on both ends here, and causing a traffic jam. So
when they could be straight down
yep,
like this.
and they could all be in the back. Yep, and out of the way and unseen.
So we'll change that orientation to where this is at the bottom.
Yep.
To go through these holes here, so that it will go straight down and out of the way, and then we'll bring it back up and through. Makes sense.
So did you upgrade the cooler or just adding fans? So Lazy, in the first of the video we did this is a brand new CPU cooler and self-contained liquid cooling radiator with a 140 millimeter fan. Show them the box there. Give them a glimpse of that.
Yeah, so that's the very first thing that we did was the CPU fan.
Watch the camera, make sure you don't have a glare. So, and get close, they can see the name brand, and he could look it up. And so, yeah, Lazy, he had a stock AMD cooler fan on there as well. And for most practical purposes, that's completely legitimate and functional. But in this case, we're trying to protect that CPU, and he just went upgraded for about $30 and did an excellent job.
30
excellent
bucks.
choice. All right. Nothing I like doing a job more than once, doing it twice.
And yeah, so you weren't here on the earlier part, Lazy, but essentially when we first built the system, I had the Arisen 4 something in here. Anyway, I upgraded the CPU 205 to the 5700, and then I had an old 5700
5500.
5500, yeah,
XT,
5500 XT graphics card, and I upgraded that to the 4060, the RTX 4060. Now this was doing fine. This was still running about 75 Celsius, or in the 140, 50 range when I'm gaming. It actually was doing fine, but this was clocking over 110, or again in Fahrenheit, almost 100.
And to be fair, you're go big or go home kind of guy. So if you're gonna do something, you're gonna do it right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was plus it's pretty. All of these are RGB.
Plus it's
so
pretty.
All of the lights, I mean, it's going to be nice. This case is going to stand out. It's going to be bright. It's going to have a lot of lights, and it's going to have incredible airflow. So.
Oh, and one other thing, Lazy, this is John's personal computer. This is not the one I've been working on. There'll be more on that computer as well. But this is his personal build that he's been using over a year that we put together, I guess a year and a half or so ago, that has played every game under the sun, but we're just in the spirit of upgrading PCs on a budget and in our allowable time. This is the biggest step for cooling that we've done.
Yeah, when I saw he was doing videos, I was like, well, you need content, so we'll do this. But I actually commissioned Bobby to build this originally. And so I said, hey, here's a budget of $1,000. He built me a system, and then I've since upgraded it as I've gone along. And now we're about $2,000 in after about 2 years.
Yeah. Jennifer's over giggling because you said Bobby.
Oh, Robert, I guess.
It's fine. No, family and friends call me Bobby. Anybody wants to call me Bobby, it's fine by me.
Yeah, I forget that when you say.
But Jennifer may have never heard me called that. She's like, I'm going to get slack for that. I know already. I've got a message in my Facebook. Hey, Bobby, what are you doing? Nothing, Jenny. How are you? What's the word to Jenny on the blog? No, don't want to know.
You sure?
Yeah.
Don't be fooled by the
No,
box.
3 seconds. 3 seconds. But she's in a new movie, isn't she? Something just came out that.
I don't know her and Ben Affleck.
Okay, wait. Change the subject. Are Lady Gaga and the dude from the movie, Brad, or no, what's his name? Who was she in that movie with? Why did it just slip my mind? I think they're in love.
Okay.
I
don't
Bradley.
keep up with
Bradley
Cooper. I don't
Bradley
keep up
Cooper,
with
yeah.
the romantic life. So.
I really don't either, but I saw a TikTok and
I know a little bit about Lady Gaga. She wore a meat dress one time.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's about all I know.
So.
And poker.
Face?
Something like that.
She did a concert and Bradley did a cameo with her on that song from the movie that they did together.
Jesus Christ Superstar together.
Was it? I don't think it was.
I think so, because Mom was really excited about them coming out with the movie, and then I don't think she ever got to see it.
Oh. Trying to put a screw in a place where a screw is already screwed. Is my other one?
Right. Yep.
Thank you. See how I diverted from the last second, putting the wrong way in?
Yeah, I saw that. Quick little change there.
What do we have here? The professional.
So we may not get to see it for the video, but I'll send him pictures in case anybody wants to know the difference. He can maybe download to the video later.
Someday I'll learn how to upload
You can
content
upload
to my.
it to the top comment, and that way it'll be there. But anyway, I'll get screenshots of, because I've got the temperatures before, and I'll show the temperatures after. To
Oh
see
yes,
if we
specs.
made
Sure,
a change. Yeah, see what kind of. Well, obviously we're going to make a change. See what kind of change we're going to make, and I like that. I like the idea of that going right there based
Cool.
off of what we did. That's so this hub, this centerpiece hub, will of course control all 6 fans that we're installing, and get them all on the same page. I'll be able to manage. Call you have something specific to say?
No, while you're doing that and thinking about that, that's where you want. Let's find the USB port that we need to plug that into, and it can be any one of them that's not used. You should have a couple of USB opens here. Unfortunately, it's not a SATA thing, but I think you have a couple of USBs here, and it's the only 8-pin with one missing to 7-pin plug-in connector for those USBs. So pull that apart and see.
So anyway, yeah, he's about 3 minutes older than me, so he's been used to taking charge our entire life.
3 minutes?
Well, 3 years, 3 minutes, whatever. Pretty similar.
3 minutes older than your sister.
Maybe that's true. Oh wait, I'm turning 50 in June. You're turning what in June? 53?
Really? You want to call me out? Like, yes. 53.
I didn't think guys cared about
I
our
don't care.
age. Yeah, we don't care about that. We don't give a damn. You're like, go on a hunting mission for this piece.
Does my 3 minutes older still need to plug that fan in for you?
Probably.
Okay. Would you like some light?
That would have helped tremendously.
I mean, I've had those all
It's a
along.
phenomenal thing. This is so dirty in here. Like, God, we should have cleaned this box before we did
So guys, if you notice here, this is what the back of your head looks like when you're about to turn. I can say that.
All right.
Family. Let's see.
I'm looking for
Right there. Any one of those.
I see.
So you got 2 right there.
Yeah,
So you just got your 3.0 right there.
right here.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. You're a 3.0.
I like to be 3.0. 3.0 is awesome. Look at this great looking video over here.
Of what, the back of my head? Sorry again if I'm showing you that.
So yeah, so you guys are youngsters. Yes, sir. Lazy fish keeper. We are youngsters. I'm just glad my audio is working this time. The batteries in our wireless mics are fully charged, and they're not going to die.
Let's hope.
I still the viewer the other day was mentioning building a Discord. My son is going to help me build a Discord, and we can have communication during this process. So now,
I hope that's in right.
if you can't put it in wrong because it won't go. There's one pin missing, and so if it won't, it simply won't.
Which
go
is
in.
how I aligned it. I just
Yeah. So
I'm
it is a little bit firm when it goes in, though.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead. We can use the tape at some point, but let's get all these plugged in, and you might want to consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know if that one. Oh, well,
this one's plugged into it. It's going to plug into its own.
Now, as far as this one's concerned, you can use the USB plug and go right into the CPU fan.
Doesn't matter.
The motherboard. Well, the motherboard knows that that's the CPU fan.
Okay.
And it monitors its speed as well.
Sure.
So I can do that here in a second. But I believe this is your CPU fan plug-in up here on top, which we didn't think about that ahead of time. And it kind of slipped my mind, but I think we'd want to go with this.
Okay.
And it's okay.
Well, we had this conversation, and the only reason why we put it down there is because I was going to.
We were talking about the hub.
Yeah.
But with this braided cord, it'll snug in here
however you
nice and clean. It won't be obstructed. No, because the CPU fan is so important, and the software will recognize that that's plugged into the CPU fan system, then I think we should let that have access to it.
Okay.
See, now that's completely gone.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
So
The colors will be so bright, I don't.
yeah. And it also frees up a resource from that controller hub in case you need to
Decide to add another fan that has nowhere to go.
This is a personal preference of mine, but do we want to remove this?
You can. certainly doesn't. I don't.
It's
need
kind
a-
of it's white in the inside of a black case, and I
Yeah.
don't know what it says. It's some warning or something, but we should probably read it. But I'm gonna say we did.
Nah.
I'm gonna say we did.
It's a lot more fun when stuff just blows up.
Better not blow up.
I'm a fan of that.
Ta-da!
Look at you go.
All right, so now here's the difference. And here's one thing we can and can't do. Now, this is a standard 3-pin board fan controller plug-in. It's not RGB supported. It's just power.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to be able to be plugged into the controller. The controller's not going to.
Which I never planned on.
And it's somebody else's fan, so Corsair is very specific. But fortunately, we have a fan controller right there.
Yes.
And you will see that in the diagram of the fan system.
That's exactly what I needed, because when I tried to go to install it, my hands kept hitting the sides
Well,
of everything.
here's an important factor too. To make sure I show this. You've got 3 pins on the basic fan without RGB. You've got 4-pin connector, but you see how the 2 rails here?
Mm-hmm.
Those rails,
Slip right in that slot.
and this is for people at home. It'll favor to the right side of that plug and go in there perfectly. We'll manage that here in a minute, but it doesn't need all 4 of those wires for plug-in for a basic fan. So, all right, cool. He said we're youngsters. We are youngsters. At heart, anyway, in mind. So, all right. So we'll figure that out too. You may be able to get that. We'll deal with cable management later.
You care a lot more about cable management than I do.
Yeah, because we want
the
to.
pretty lights hide the black cables anyway.
And these go in just one way, and they snap in, and so I'm gonna go. You want the bottom one, or you want the bottom one 3? You want to go?
I want to go 1, 2, 3, 1 at the top. Yep.
Okay, so the bottom one is 3.
Bottom one's 3. Middle one will be 2.
Middle one will be 2.
That seems like the appropriate way to do that.
And if you're like me, I like the same look for all my fans, regardless of what that look is. And the numbers are only inconsequential to if one's not working, you'll know that that's how it's responding. Okay, so John, you need a couple more screws in these. So go ahead and secure those.
Fair enough.
Get all 4 screws and get that firmed down, because now we've measured it. We know it's where we want it to be. And this is 4.
What I would need would be that screwdriver. I'll use this.
I'm sorry, I have them both over here.
Thank you.
Use the bigger one. It seems to have a little bit better bite. These Corsair fans and this hub controller have a great little plug-in system for their plugs. And then we need to make sure that IQ software gets downloaded so you can manage those fans. But when we plug it in, turn it on, regardless of whether we boot it up or not, all those lights come on and give us a demonstration.
And I just updated my IQ last night.
So you have the IQ controller already?
Yep.
Software?
Everything's in there. Yep. So it should just be
It'll
plug and
just
play.
automatically see, plug and play. It'll see those fans.
Yep. And then I've already got a profile set, so I should be able to just apply that profile to the fans, and it should just be a one and done plug and play. Here we go. At least that's the whole.
Arc. It's Arc. We played Arc for 150,000 hours. Run around naked trying to build stuff, and every time I would run to Jen and say, "Hey, I lost my dinosaur. Can I have another?" And she's like, "Okay, but just this once." And every time she'd give me one anyway. But it was, if not for her, I would have never been able to fly around the island and do the things I did.
I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty much most of your life. You owe most of your successes to nice people who like you.
You know what? I put myself out there for people because I enjoy it, and that's even my job. It contributes to other people's needs, and I'd rather do that than something they want. They're just more appreciated. But I just try to spread myself out around the world and be as good and happy a person as I can.
So did Genghis Khan. That's why he's like.
Well,
I think
his
most of the population was
end goal was a little bit more dramatic than mine.
Yeah, well, most of the world's population owes themselves to the fact that you got around. That's pretty All right. So the fans up top are
All
secure.
right, so double check everything. That's in the motherboard. The CPU fan's in the motherboard, so it'll come up in the software and be seen. Top fans are 4 and 5.
Connected to the hub.
1, 2, 3 on the top and the front. The hub's plugged. Okay, now did we plug the hub? Oh, we did. USB.
Yep.
And I'll let you manage that as you want. You want to make sure these wires won't get involved with the fans.
Sure.
So let's collect everything off this real quick.
These go with my case.
Yeah, I recommend anybody keeps all the hardware. You might need that double-sided tape later.
I'm keeping all of it.
Keep it all. Like I've shown in before, I've got collections and piles of other screws and whatnot, but you never know when you're going to need one or come up short.
Is this my? Was there another box somewhere?
There's not on my side. Not on my side.
Okay.
All right.
What are you looking for?
Waiting for you, and just there's a Triac power supply right there.
Did you take this back? What the hell's going
I
on?
don't think it's got a tab that folds in on the back to lock it in.
I know. I'm trying to get it to. Okay. Well, I don't know where.
Joke's on you.
You're the joke. What do you need from me, sir?
The power right there. If we're going to go ahead and push the button, turn this thing on, and give a preview.
So what am I supposed to be doing?
Cord dash. I don't think we need a mouse unless you want to put a mouse. I mean, we don't have monitor or anything, so I thought we'd just boot it up and make sure everything's spinning. That'd be the first case.
Okay, well, that now has power.
All right, pull up a seat.
Okay. I can do that.
I think the first thing I'm going to buy,
Uh-huh.
and the opportunity promotes itself, is a new office chair. These are squeaky chairs.
Yes, I would get some new chairs.
Also, just from being here seeing, there is a little these slots right here on the bottom. Guys, I don't know if you can't see this, but on the bottom of his power supply, there is these little slots that hold a screen, and there's another screen in there. Unfortunately, on this thing, because it's exhaust, this debris right here that you see that's on your power supply has come from inside the system and being blown out. So at your easiest convenience, pull your power supply out.
Yep.
And I don't know if you have to go through the other side, but and then use a vacuum cleaner or brush, get all that debris off that grill there, and that'll free up that grill there. All right, so I'm gonna let you do the honors. Push the button and let's see what we got. Make sure there's no cord sticking inside the. Right away, CPU fan spins up. The rear fan. Right now, the two fans that are rolling are because they're plugged into the motherboard. The motherboard got access right away. It's very possible that we're going to have to start up the software to get the fan hub to start all the other fans, because it may need to be activated or it may not boot up on its own right away. Unless at some moment here they just kick on. And we'll do that off camera, guys. We're not going to go through the dead horse. We were just talking about you a little earlier ago. We're talking about building the Discord. I'm still in the working process of that. Anything I can do to get more communication and chat. I don't always see the chat as soon as it comes up, but so
for the stress test, I ran stress test when
we're missing this out here. So
I checked the temperature, but
we still don't have power to those yet. And this is for the case. That's something else. We'll come back to that. But that's a beautiful fan. I like that on the CPU.
I do too.
It's kind of hard to see in the lights, but so stress test. Go ahead.
I was just saying that. Before I decided that this was what I was going to do,
Go ahead. I'll show you this later.
Okay. Anyway, before I decided what I was going to do, I was looking at the temperatures, and the temperatures were all well within range when it was just surfing the web. I put it on a stress test, and it kind of got the temperatures right at the extreme of where you'd want them to be. So that's why I actually started, because it shut down on me when I was gaming. And when I game, it was pushing it a little higher than that. But
all right, here we go. So I'm noticing that the power supply here is spinning up once in a while and then stopping.
mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's a little bit of debris there that needs to be removed as soon as possible. I can see the colors in there, but what power supply do you have? How many watts is that?
I don't know.
Do you remember?
No,
Let's
I
see if
think
we can-
4,000. No.
400. Hopefully it's
Under
not
400.
400.
It is a 650 watt.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So my
Smart
concern
board.
was that might be a little weak for this new RTX board that you got. And let's see if I can get, there's some fanage and lights. Yeah, it does. The 650 should be plenty for that motherboard. It's got the, GPU, because you did a huge upgrade on the GPU. And 650 watts, pretty good. I would say before too long, 6 months or give or take, go ahead and upgrade your power supply.
Okay.
In fact, you may just go ahead and, is this fully modular? It is modular. If you get the exact same brand Thermaltake, but even a higher power, 9 times out of 10, the plugins are adaptable to the next higher power supply. So all you do is unplug everything, pull the power supply out, and then right away plug the new stuff in and put the power supply in. It's good.
Do you think it's underpowered for now?
Well, you've upgraded the CPU since we built it. You've upgraded the graphics card, and that's a high-end graphics card. That's a good graphics card. And I would look at manufacturer recommendations for that graphics card. I think that's an off splitter for additional power for your fans. So that's an accessory that I think we let. Oh, fingers
just left in there.
Yeah, it's good to have. So yes, I would definitely, especially now that we're running a bunch more fans. Those do take not a lot, but they're going to be taking power resources from the system. Let me consider this, because if I'm not mistaken, I've plugged in the controllers, but I haven't. Let me see. Oops, sorry, gosh. I plugged in the controllers to the hub, but I haven't plugged in the power to the fans. I think both those cords are needed for power.
This right here too?
No, I think that's to plug into a.
So then there's not two. There's just this one, and there's this one. Those are the only two plugs that are coming out of the hub.
No, out of each fan.
Oh.
Remember, we have two cords. See, like here's a USB style plug. This is not right. So I think we have to get power to each one of these.
Okay.
So that's 5 fans that we need power to, but not that.
No, I know. This is the one that went to my other one. Put it in the box.
I've not had experience with all these fans as often, and so I just used some Corsair fans in my system, and I think I had to allocate those USBs to the motherboard, each one, to get them to work. I don't know that you have 5 available USBs to power those.
I do not. I have 3
fans. So, and we just used one for the hub itself too. Remember? So, something to keep in mind. And now, the worst case scenario, you would need a split off from your power supply to a breakout to go to each one of those fans. So, I do see one more USB right here. Separate this cord here and let me have the USB cord to that. That's awful snug in there with that USB 3.0 plug-in. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down for the moment. Let that discharge, and this is for... All right, so I have them over here. And you may have to figure out how to get that USB breakout. I think you can get a modular component for your power supply, or you may have a cord. You might check your power supply box. There may be more additional links in there, but I think you can come right off the power of the box itself and possibly add all the powers to all those RGB fans that you need straight from the power supply, because obviously it's going to the controller, and the controller is going to give the colors. So that's an oversight on my part.
I figured the hub would be power and...
I assumed that as well, but I was mistaken. So, oh, that's a 4-pin, and I'm
sure this is not nearly as interesting for your viewers as we're figuring this out and discussing it.
All right, so there's a LED CPU. So, yeah, we just need to find each one of those as a 4-pin to plug those in. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the farm, we'll figure that out. May have to watch a video.
It's like we didn't have to watch video. I may be getting a new motherboard sooner than I thought.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily the motherboard's not necessarily intended to have all the outputs that you need. Sometimes you have to expand the outputs to accommodate. There's one right there. I was in the right zip code, wrong address. All right, there's one. That's actually got RGB, D-LED. Lots of little, you may have to look at your motherboard specifications. So there's one of them. And
Is that no?
so if you'll notice right here, this 4-pin right here,
Uh-huh.
that is for LED controller from the motherboard because the motherboard has LED control possibilities. Okay. This is, we need the ones with the slotted space in it, like I plugged into over here. And I'm not seeing.
Well, sadly, if we need 4, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, you'll need 4 more.
Yeah, I've got 4 more.
That's one good reason we use the allocation for this board. Is this another one right here under the CPU? Okay, so that's a CPU auxiliary right here. That one can be used for any one of these fans too. It's just power. It's not color, so it's not a controller part. But you can use that for power. We can add one to that, whichever one's closest. I think we could use.
Okay, that would be this top one here, which I haven't quite got to yet.
Yeah. So. All right, guys. Well, this is one aspect of the build. Basically, we put the fans in. Troubleshooting out where we're going to get all the extra power from this point on out is going to be a meticulous process, but we'll get it. Even if we have to add some additional power supply to the system, and basically because he's got a modular power supply, we could put one cord in there, tap it out to multi RGB or fan hubs, which is the 4 pins that use 3 pins, I believe is what it really uses. Or it may use 4, but that would provide the power. We've got them all into the controller. The controller and the software will make them go. We'll turn this on again, and I'll that bottom light, the 2 that we were able to plug in, and I'm about to plug in, will light up with no problem. And so there's that, but we just need to find what we need. 3 more, don't we? Power for 3 more.
Okay, so this is 4, this is 5.
Well, it doesn't matter though. Oh, okay.
Just for my personal.
Yeah, no, that's definitely personal preference. Oh, I just hooked around a fan blade. That's awesome.
Awesome sauce.
I think that's another YouTube channel, so be careful.
No.
I'm kidding. I don't know that for sure.
I don't either, and certainly no reference to it because I had no idea there was. So purely coincidental if that is.
Lazy says here, if you're using a hub, you only need 1 power hookup for the power supply.
That's what I thought.
Well, the hub is to control the colors. Each one of the fans needed additional power, either from the motherboard or from the power supply. The power supply would simply be a lead that goes out, and I believe this is a controller as well, or it may be to piggyback multiple controllers. So I don't remember exactly what that's for, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I know we don't need it for this application because we've got enough ports on the hub to control the colors for all the fans.
Yeah.
But as far as each one of these fans do need their own power, and right now we're just looking for a couple places on the motherboard to get some power for a couple of these, and then we'll narrow it down to what we have left. So, and then when I plug this in, we'll see those lights buzz up, and that'll be a good thing. So I may have to. And then we're going to wrap this up because it's almost dinner time.
Yeah, food. That's an important.
And you can call me anything you want.
Just late for dinner.
Me late for dinner. All right. Doctor? Scalpel? Doctor? There are 101 variations of things that help with your RGB lighting and your fans, and every system. The higher end motherboards have multiple connectors that we don't have, and So we're just troubleshooting. I think instead of a stethoscope, I need a magnifier.
Apparently.
The tag is
I'll tear it off.
I should have. It's just a matter. Forceps are great. You got to get just the right angle. In a perfect world.
Dead Horse said hello. Who are they?
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
Okay.
He was the one that recommended the Discord channel.
Too many hands in the pot just messed it up, so I'm
You're all right.
backing out of the way here.
There. All right, now we'll get this CPU power back in, and we'll be gravy. We'll power it up one more time just to see what those power supplies are actually getting to those. And now a word from our sponsor. You know what our sponsor is? We don't have one. Why? We don't need one.
Yeah, we got to get more than 5 viewers.
Right.
I'll be
But
our
these are
sponsor
the most
today.
important ones. These are the guys who've been here from the beginning.
That's true.
They're all getting Christmas cards. There
You
it
get
is.
a Christmas card. You get a Christmas card.
All right, Oprah. Okay, there's that. Make sure these cords out of the way. One more time, we're getting a little power. We'll see what progress we've made. If you'll do the honors of pushing the button.
Let's do that.
Hang on just a second. Let me share our progress with the others, okay? All right. So the two fans that we were able to get power off the motherboard, they are spinning up now. Additionally, as I mentioned before, we may need the software going and the controller to.
What fans are spinning?
This one's spinning and this one's spinning. So
Okay.
that was me.
Okay, I do feel that one. This
Yep.
one's not plugged in yet.
Nope.
Oh, this one was plugged in.
No, I plugged it in here
Yeah,
just
that's
now.
what I'm saying.
That was
Yeah.
the first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we just need 3 more ports for those.
Good. We got good. Oops.
Don't do what we do. Everything we do.
You got this one blowing.
Yep.
All right.
That one's on the
It's not
motherboard.
putting out a lot of exhaust, but that's okay.
Well, it's probably that fan's spinning further. Now, remember, the software on the computer controls the speed of the fan.
We'll have to look into that later. Yeah.
And right now, it's completely cold. It ramps up as it gets warmer.
Fair. No.
So-
Right. Fair.
And you can adjust the control of this fan speed as much as you want. So, all right.
So we
got
just need to find 3 more power sources.
one more little hurdle. I would look at the schematics of the board and see how many you have, and then consider what you have plugged in. You've got a power for this, power for this. Oh, see, I just did that too.
Mm-hmm.
We got a power for this. We got 2 there, so we're looking for 3 more. I'm not sure if we have 3 more, if we do or we don't, but there's some opportunities there. And that I could be wrong, but that the big plug into the controller could be power, but I don't think it is. I think those plugs are strictly for red, blue, green color changing. Yeah, see, it just says to RGB fan or to the hub anyway.
Okay.
That could be I think there may be. That's a form of a SATA connector, and it could be a power supply addition. So, but we have most of them working, and then when you manage the software, you should be able to change the color on. You'll set them all for all the fans, and then. So. All right, gosh, what else?
Well, I guess we just need to get it fixed. So.
Yeah, we'll get some more power supply. Add that to it at some point later. For right now, there's not much else we can do with this, but we've done a lot already. He does have some front-facing fans. He's got some exhaust. He's got a great new cooler on the CPU. I wouldn't hesitate to use the system even before we power up the next few fans. And then it should be in good shape. It's already got more fan flow than you had when you came today.
Fair.
For the size of this one, and the exhaust is pulling out, plus that one. And then the force of the air coming through here and then in the back, it's going to complement each other. It's just one more step that we'd have to do to get that going. Obviously, we'd zip tie and at least get the wires out so they're not sticking in the fans. But then it'll be gravy. It'll be just brand new and perfect. So, alrighty, guys, thank you so much. We're going to wrap this up real quick. Thank you for coming. Lots of comments. Love the comments, guys. If I missed one, I'm sorry. Feel free to comment on the video when it's not live. When it's posted up to my YouTube channel, I see all those too. I get notifications. I get excited. So anything you want to know, follow up with those questions on the video, on the content that after it's uploaded, and then I'll be happy to get to those and follow up. And then if you have ideas, there's absolutely no wrong reason to put those there. You let me have those ideas, and then that because I don't know it all, and if I forget something or there's something that makes sense, and you know it, Nor Islamic, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much, and good night to you, Mr. Lazy Fish Keeper. Thank you so much, guys. Be sure to hit that like button. I know that's important to YouTube, but it's important to me too. I take it personal, and just the fact that you guys are here more than enough. But thank you so much, and we're going to go ahead and wrap this up tonight. Have a good one. We'll have another video out in a couple of days. I've got some other plans for our cheap PC build, a couple more upgrades, and it's not going to be a cheap PC anymore. It's going to be a suitable, contendable gaming system.
Fair enough.
And then there's some opportunities for that too.
I'll have to copy those pictures, see what we did for.
Yep, I'll be
there,
sure
I'll
to
get you
post John's specs on what benefits and advantages have done this. A little bit of Googling and maybe some Amazon for a little power supply coupler. Or you might look in your box for your accessories for your power supply. You may still have a breakout. And then what you'll need is the breakout from one of your SATA supplied powers to, or one of your power supply outs to multiple. It could be a little brick. It'll much like the hub fund, and you plug it in and it gives you power for multiple 4-pin powers out. So, all right, guys, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for being here. It's good to see everybody here. Have a great, wonderful evening. Catch us next time. If you have any ideas for future videos, I'm all down. Let me know. If I don't know how to do it, I'll make it up, just like we did tonight. So have a good one. John,
Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you so much, John, for being here tonight. Look forward to any time you want to come back and hang. Any of the normal projects, you're welcome to come. So
Heck yeah.